everyone, my name is Keely and I'm the owner and creator here at Soy and Shea, and thank you so much for joining me for another soap making video. Now over on the Patreon channel each month I ask my members to make some suggestions for a soap design, and for the month of July I asked them to make some suggestions of foods that they would like for me to add into soap. We had all sorts of suggestions including things like tomatoes, there was different milk powders, we also had aloe vera, stuff like that. Ginger was another one. But the one that was actually drawn out of my little soap dish was one by Kathy from Gem D Creations, and she wanted to know more about adding honey into soap. I will leave a link to her business down in the description box below so you can go and check out all her soapy creations. But for now what we're going to go and do is make a soap using some honey. I do have a couple of little tips in there, but if you want to know even more about adding honey into your soap, come and join us over on the Patreon page, and there are links down in the description box there as well. But for now we are going to go make my Be Happy honey and calendula soap. Let's go. Alright, so let's get started with this soap. I have my oils all down to room temperature and I have my sodium hydroxide distilled water solution. I'm just going to pour them into each other, mix them until they just combine or come to emulsion, and then we'll split it out and do some colouring. Alright, I'm not doing much mixing today. What I am going to do is split it out. I have got a little bit of bronze mica here, so I'm going to pour that into that container. And then into this one I have some extravagance gold mica. I'm going to pour a bit more into that container. That will hopefully now stand up in there. Into my big bucket here I have got some Tuscan Sun, and I've lost my little spoon. There it is. We're going to put a nice bit of Tuscan Sun in there to make a nice yellow base. I'm going to get these colours mixed in and then we're going to put our additives in. Alright, so I've got the colours mixed in. I'm really wary about this one today. About 2 months ago I had a soaping session where about every single fragrance oil I touched accelerated on me, and then last month they were all behaving, and so far this month they've all been naughty again, so I'm trying to be really cautious today, especially because one of the ingredients we are using is some honey. Now what I've done is I've weighed my honey out at 2% of my oil weight, and then I have just put it in the microwave for about 10 to 15 seconds just so it becomes nice and fluid. And what I'm going to do is pour that into each of these pots here. Now because of the high sugar content of honey, you can expect it to actually move your soap or accelerate trace a little bit quicker, so I've put that in kind of last minute here. You also do have to be careful that it doesn't superheat your batter when you're using it. Now the fragrance oil I've got today is Honey Wash, and I have used this one a couple of times. It's got some very fruity notes as well as a bit of vanilla and some musk in there as well. It really is a beautiful fragrance. I think it's meant to be a dupe of Lush's Honey I Washed the Kids, but to me it just smells beautiful. It's got some really beautiful berry notes into it as well. In my big container here I'm also going to add in some calendula. Now these look wet because they are. I did a big batch of olive infused oil with calendula, and rather than throw out all of the petals once I had finished infusing my olive oil, I decided to keep them to add into soaps, so that is what is going in there. I'm going to give these a bit of a mix and then we're going to start pouring into our mold. Alright, so I'm going to keep this one very simple today because we have got a gorgeous set of embeds to go on it. I'm going to pour most of this, in fact pretty much all of this yellow with the calendula petals in first. I'll just leave a bit back for scraping at the end. And now I am going to just simply drop swirl this into the yellow, and then we will get a hanger to go in it. I am very pleased to say last time I actually used this fragrance oil, it stayed nice and fluid, and it has decided to stay nice and fluid for me again today. Usually I use this one in the summer months, so I know it behaves well in summer, but some of my fragrance oils actually misbehave in winter but perform really well in those summer months. That is looking absolutely gorgeous. I am also going to run the hanger through there just because we have got such a fluid soap. I think we might get a few nice swirls if I do so. We won't go too much because I don't want to completely muddy it up. In fact, that is almost like water, which compared to the other soap, which you may or may not see when this one comes out, it will be my coconut cream soap. So if I have actually already released that video, I'll leave a link up in the top corner. If not, it will be coming out very, very soon. That soap, that was worse than, or just as bad as working with dragon's blood. It's set up so quickly on me, so it is lovely to have such a fluid soap this time. You don't feel as under pressure when it stays nice and liquidy like this. So let me get these all scraped out. Because this is so fluid, I am going to have to leave this one sit here probably for, I don't know, about 15-20 minutes, maybe half an hour probably, the way this is. And then I will come back and I will do the top. So considering how fluid that was, it's only actually taken about 10 minutes to set up, which is a lot quicker than I thought, possibly because of that honey. But now it's time to put our little embeds on. I will leave a link up in the top right hand corner so you can see how I actually made these. These are meant to be little beehives, though they are very questionable about what they actually really look like. And then I have also piped up just a few little flowers to go onto each of these soaps as well. So each soap's going to get one little beehive and some little flowers. Now what I am going to do, because I think it's going to be much easier, is actually take off my gloves to do this. I just find that the wrinkles on the gloves just get completely in the way while trying to do it. I'm also going to turn this around because this end's got my sample piece on it. I am just going to pop a little beehive on, and then we're just going to pick up a selection of little flowers to go on it, and hopefully the little flowers will kind of almost look a bit like some little calendula. And I do also have in this little pot some tiny little melt and pour bees that I have made. So I think I'm just going to pop one of those little bees on here as well. I'm going to do each of these bars slightly different. So we might put a little beehive there, and then we'll put some flowers on either side here. Let's pop a bee near that hive and a couple of little flowers on there as well. And that is going to look so super cute once it is done. Okay, so that was the very last of those flowers. I have been trying to get it so that I've got them between each of my cut lines. Oh, and that was a big spray. I'm going to give this a very light dusting with some of the Extravagance Gold Mica just to make it really sort of shine and shimmer. We've got one little bee there that's got a very big mouthful of mica, but that is all okay. And then I am also going to give it just a quick sprinkle with some of that biodegradable holographic glitter, and that is looking gorgeous. I'm going to bring you down for a closer look. Alright, so here is Honeybee up close. You can see that one really did get a lot of mica all over him, but those little bees are so super cute and really add to the whole sweetness of this soap, even though they are a lot bigger than those little beehives. I'm going to leave this one sit overnight, and then we're going to come back and cut it, and we'll see what swirls we've got on the inside. Okay, it is finally time to cut into our honey and calendula soap here. Those little bees are so super cute. It has taken about 48 hours for this one to be able to be unmolded. It's still a little bit sticky, and it would be because of how fluid that this fragrance oil was when I poured it. I tend to find if the soaps are fast setters, that I can actually get my soap unmolded a lot quicker. It is cutting quite smoothly here. Hopefully we won't get too many drag marks with those calendula petals, but we'll soon see. Well, that one went donk and not ping. Let's take a look. Alright, so let's grab this one from off the end here, and that is the inside of our soap. So we do have a few little drag marks in there, which was to be expected, but I love the subtle swirls that we've got through that one. It smells so good as well. I really do like using this fragrance oil, and I've used it a few times now. And look at the top, those cute little bees, the little flowers, and what I'm calling a beehive. So I'm really happy with this soap. I'm looking forward to being able to give it a go as well. It is still quite soft. I have got a big drag mark in there, but maybe a little bit of planing will really help with this one. Let's grab the next two off here as well. So the swirls that I've got are very, very subtle. Really, really like how it's gone through that piece. The gold, there are bits of gold in there, but I think what's actually really happened is that the sparkle from off that extravagance has actually spread throughout the soap, and as I'm actually tipping it around in the sun, I can see little sparkling bits in the soap here. It's just not so obvious as an actual swirl through the soap, but I'm really, really pleased with how it has come up. It just looks so yummy. I've got a little bit of fragrance leakage in this one, but I have had that before. After a couple of days on the cure rack, it all sinks back in and it doesn't affect the soap at all. Alright, so I hope you have enjoyed watching how I've made my honey calendula soap and using some real honey in here. It really is very easy to add honey into your soap, and it gives it a super bubbly sort of quality as well. If you did enjoy what you saw, why not leave me a thumbs up and any comments down below? And if you've got any questions, I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can. And until the next video comes out, I hope you have a great one, and I will see you then. Bye!